Let's be honest. Dealing with negativity online, it's like, ugh, it can feel like a constant battle. It's everywhere you look.
Yeah, it's relentless.
So what if there were like actual strategies to not just deal with it, but to like actually thrive in that environment?
Right, turn that negativity into something positive.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. We're looking at a YouTube video. It's by Vinh Giang. He's a public speaking coach.
Oh, yeah, I've seen his stuff. He's great.
Yeah. And he knows a thing or two about dealing with negativity, putting yourself out there. The video is called 5 Brutally Honest Lessons to Crush Negative People. So we're going to break it down, see what we can learn from it, whether you're like a content creator or just someone trying to, stay positive online.
Yeah, protect your energy. It's important.
Totally. So Vrang's first lesson, it's a big one. You can't please everyone.
So true. Sounds obvious, but so many of us get caught up in that trap.
It is so true. Like, I remember when I first started posting online, every negative comment, oh my gosh, it just felt like, I don't know.
Like a punch to the gut.
Yes, a punch to the gut. And I would just like tie myself in knots trying to make everyone happy. And you know what? It backfired.
It always does.
Yeah, I was miserable. And my content became so boring, it lost its voice.
You lose your edge when you try to please everyone. You become vanilla.
Vanilla.
Exactly, like vanilla ice cream, when really you're, a triple chocolate fudge brownie swirl.
But that's kind of swirl. But that's Jiang's point, right? It's not about ignoring constructive criticism. It's about realizing that chasing approval from everyone, it actually makes you less authentic.
And ironically, less appealing to the audience you actually want to reach.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So how do we find that sweet spot? Being open to feedback, but not letting every little negative comment derail us.
Well, I think it starts with understanding the psychology behind negativity.
Okay, tell me more.
Often, a negative comment says more about the person leaving it than the person they're commenting on.
Oh, that's deep.
Think about it. Have you ever, lashed out online when you were feeling insecure or frustrated?
Oh, yeah, totally. Sometimes you just need to project.
Right. Exactly. It's like Giang uses this analogy. When you squeeze a lemon, what do you get? Lemon juice. Squeeze an orange, you get orange juice.
Simple.
Right. People can only give what they have inside. So that nasty comment, it might just be someone's inner lemon juice splattering around.
Oh, I love that analogy, the lemon juice splattering.
So the next time you see a negative comment, instead of taking it personally, maybe ask yourself, what kind of juice is this person carrying around today?
That is such good advice. It really helps you detach. It's not about you, it's about them.
Exactly. And that detachment can actually lead to, this might sound surprising, but compassion. That's actually Jiang's 4th lesson.
Compassion for the people leaving the negative comments.
Yeah, he suggests approaching negativity with understanding rather than defensiveness.
At first, it sounds a bit like rolling over. But I see what he's getting at.
It's not about condoning bad behavior. It's recognizing that negativity often comes from a place of hurt or insecurity.
Right, like those lemons. They're sour for a reason.
Exactly. Understanding the source helps you choose a more effective response. And sometimes the most effective response, believe it or not, is no response at all.
Just ignore it.
Sometimes. And that brings us to Jiang's 3rd lesson, which is pretty radical. He actually stopped reading comments altogether.
Wow. Cold turkey. I don't know if I could do that.
It might not be realistic for everyone, especially if you're relying on feedback for your work, but it highlights this idea of selective exposure. You have the power to choose what you consume online.
Oh, I like that. It's about being intentional, right?
Yeah.
Creating a space for yourself that's positive.
Exactly. It's like weeding a garden. You got to pull out the negativity to let the good stuff flourish.
So true. And sometimes it means setting boundaries, right? Like, you don't know everyone your energy.
Yeah.
Especially not the lemon juice folks.
Exactly. Right. Have you ever had to do, a digital detox to reset?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It can be so refreshing to just unplug and step away from all that noise.
Yeah.
Reconnect with what really matters.
Yeah, you remember what's important. And speaking of what matters, Jiang's 5th lesson really resonated with me. He emphasizes the value of feedback from those who are, he says, in the arena with you.
In the arena. I like that. What does he mean by that?
Well, he actually quotes Theodore Roosevelt. It is not the critic who counts. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena.
Oh, wow. I love that quote.
It's powerful. And Jiang's point is that the most valuable feedback often comes from those who are actively engaged in the same kind of work, the same pursuits as you.
So the people who are actually out there doing the thing, facing the same challenges, their opinions carry more weight.
Right. Think about it. Wouldn't you rather get feedback on say, your painting from another painter rather than someone who's never picked up a brush?
Yeah, of course.
The people in the arena, they understand the landscape. They've been in the trenches.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's not that other opinions are worthless. It's about recognizing the source and understanding whose feedback to prioritize. So who's in your arena, listener? Whose opinions do you value most, and why?
We'll dive deeper into that next time.
It's interesting, though, how Giang connects this idea of being in the arena back to dealing with negativity.
Oh, yeah. How so?
He says, those people, kind of like shouting insults from the sidelines, they haven't actually stepped into the arena themselves.
Right. They haven't put themselves out there, haven't faced the same risks.
Exactly. They're all talk, no action. And that makes me think, like, their criticism.
It's coming from a different place.
Yeah. It's probably rooted in fear, or insecurity, like maybe they're projecting their own, like, unfulfilled dreams onto you.
Makes sense. So their negativity can feel really personal because it's actually about them, not you.
Right. So even though their words might sting, we have to remember their feedback doesn't necessarily reflect our worth or whether our goals are valid.
Exactly. Like imagine someone critiquing your marathon time when they've never even run a mile.
It's kind of ridiculous. Right.
Totally. Their opinion, while they're entitled to it, it just doesn't hold the same weight as someone who's actually trained for and run a marathon.
Okay, yeah, I see that. That's where discernment comes in, right? Not all feedback is created equal.
Right, got to filter. Some opinions are definitely worth considering and others.
You can just let them roll right off you.
And sometimes valuable feedback can come from unexpected places.
Oh, like what?
It could be a casual comment from a friend, a suggestion from a coworker, even a critique from someone you don't particularly like. The key is being open, hearing different perspectives.
Yeah, and then kind of filtering that information through your own lens of experience, like trusting your gut.
Right. What does your intuition tell you?
I've learned the best way to deal with any feedback, positive or negative, is to approach it with curiosity.
Curiosity?
Yeah. Instead of getting defensive or shutting down, I try to ask, what can I learn from this? Is there any truth here, even if it's delivered in a not-so-great way?
I like that approach. Owning your growth. Not letting negativity determine your self-worth or the direction of your path.
And sometimes I think the most valuable feedback comes from within.
Oh, yeah. Totally agree.
It's about listening to your own intuition, that inner voice, that gut feeling that tells you, whether you're on the right track or not.
Giang doesn't explicitly say this, but his whole approach to dealing with negativity suggests that he has a lot of self-trust.
Do you think so?
Yeah. He's confident in what he's doing, his message, his purpose, and that allows him to navigate all the challenges that come with, putting himself out there.
That's self-trust. It's like his foundation for resilience.
Right. He's able to handle all those storms of negativity because he trusts himself.
And I guess that resilience is something we can all cultivate.
Absolutely. It's like a muscle, The more you practice these strategies, the stronger you become at dealing with those negative vibes.
So it's not about becoming like immune to negativity. It's more about developing those tools to manage it.
Right. Yeah, recognizing that it's a part of life, especially online, but it doesn't have to control us.
It's about choosing how we respond instead of just reacting, like without thinking.
Being thoughtful.
And sometimes I think the most powerful response is just like walking away.
Just disengage. Remember that was Yang's third lesson, right? He just stopped reading the comments altogether.
Yeah, he went cold turkey. It might seem extreme, but it highlights how important it is to have boundaries.
Big time. We don't have to engage with everything that comes our way, especially online.
Right. We have a right to protect ourselves, our energy, our mental well-being.
And sometimes that means, logging off, taking a break from social media.
Yeah, going outside, remembering that there's like a whole world out there beyond the screen.
It's about finding that balance between engaging online and nurturing your own inner peace.
And that, it brings us back to Zhang's fourth lesson, approaching negativity with compassion. It's recognizing that the person being negative is often hurting themselves.
Yeah, remember that lemon and orange juice analogy?
Oh yeah, the splattering lemons.
Sometimes people project their own bitterness and resentment onto others.
Okay, so it doesn't excuse their behavior, but it helps us understand where it's coming from.
Right, helps us detach from that personal sting, see the bigger picture.
And choose a more compassionate response. And I think that compassion, it doesn't have to be just directed outwards. We can practice self-compassion too.
That's so important. How do you do that?
By acknowledging our own struggles, our own imperfections.
Yeah, we're all human. We all make mistakes.
Exactly. And sometimes the most compassionate thing we can do for ourselves is to just step away from negativity, whether it's a person, a situation, or even a whole online platform.
Yeah, protecting your peace.
Prioritizing our own well-being.
Yeah.
And remembering that we deserve to be treated with kindness by others, but also by ourselves.
Well said. As we've been talking about these strategies, it's making me realize that they all point to something bigger. Empowerment.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more about that.
It's realizing that we have a lot more control over our experience than we think. We have the power to choose.
Choose what?
What we consume, how we react, who we let into our lives. It's taking ownership.
Creating our own digital lives.
A space that feels supportive, safe and inspiring.
And I think it's important to remember that we're not alone in this.
Oh, absolutely not. There are so many people facing these same challenges. We can learn from each other, support each other.
Yeah. And I think that's a big takeaway from Giang's video. He's not just giving advice, he's building a community.
Inviting us to join him, to face the challenges together and emerge stronger on the other side.
And that sense of community, it's powerful, It's like an antidote to all the negativity out there.
Yeah, reminding us that we're all connected, we're all in this together, we got each other's backs.
It's funny, we always talk about crushing negativity.
Yes.
It's some kind of enemy we need to defeat.
Yeah, conquer it, obliterate it.
Right. But I don't know, maybe there's another way to think about it.
Ooh, I like where you're going with this. What if, instead of trying to get rid of all negativity completely, we tried to, harness its energy?
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. Negativity exists for a reason.
I mean, yeah.
It can be like a signal, alerting us to problems, things that need to change.
Or it can be motivating, push you to make a change.
Right. And even, fuel creativity.
Oh, yeah. Think of all the incredible art and music, literature even that came from, pain, frustration, anger.
Yeah, negativity can be like this catalyst, to help us grow.
Totally. If we can learn to channel it the right way.
That's like that saying, right? Pressure creates diamonds.
Ooh, I like that.
Sometimes it takes a little friction, a little resistance to polish us up, help us shine.
So true. And that's where I think Giang's lessons come in. They give us that framework, to navigate all that negativity, but in a way that doesn't, break us down.
Yeah, it actually makes us stronger.
Exactly. So his first lesson, remember, you can't please everyone. That frees us from needing all that external validation.
It's so free, right?
It is. It lets us focus on, what we want, our own values, the people that really matter.
And his second lesson, that comments are fleeting. That helps us to not get so hung up on the negativity.
Yeah, just let it roll off.
It's a passing cloud, right? It might block the sun for a minute, but then
the sun comes out again.
And then there's the third lesson, the whole idea of being selective about what we expose ourselves to online.
Taking control, curating our digital space.
Building those boundaries.
Yeah.
So important for our mental well-being.
So we can focus on the good stuff.
Yeah.
The positive, the inspiring. There's so much of it out there.
Yeah, we just got to choose to see it. And then there's that fourth lesson, meeting negativity with compassion. Trying to understand where it's coming from.
Meeting those lemons with a little bit of understanding.
And even a little bit of sugar, to make that lemonade.
Exactly. And the fifth lesson, being in the arena.
Taking those risks, facing the challenges.
Growing from those experiences, even the tough ones.
Realizing that true growth, true fulfillment, it often comes from, pushing ourselves outside our comfort zone.
It's messy, it's imperfect, and sometimes it's negative. But it's real.
So maybe dealing with negativity, it isn't about destroying it completely. It's more about transforming it.
Yeah, use it as fuel to help us live more authentically.
Turning those lemons into lemonade.
I love that. And I think that's a great place to wrap things up. Listener, we hope this deep dive gave you some helpful tools, some new ways to think about negativity.
Remember, you have the power to choose how you respond. You can let it drag you down, or you can use it to make yourself stronger.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, stay curious, stay compassionate, and stay in that arena.